Welcome to Onourshelf. Today what I have is a full review of the Ouya gaming console. Now I've had about 2 weeks to spend with this thing, and I'm going to give you my full opinion of what I think about it. But first, let's start with the unboxing just in case you missed it earlier. Here it is again in about 10 seconds, and this is what you get in the box. You get one controller, a console, 2 AA batteries, an HDMI cable, a power adapter, and some instructions. Now that we have it out of the box, let's take a look at the hardware. So let's start with the console. You have a USB 2.0, an HDMI port, an Ethernet port, a micro USB port, and a port for the power adapter. At the bottom of the console, we have our power button to power it on, along with 4 removable screws to upgrade. And at the top, you pretty much just have some holes for ventilation. Right here we have the controller. Now a lot of folks say it actually resembles the Xbox 360 controller in terms of layout, and I can see that. And this black part here is actually a touchpad, which I did not know. And then you have your analog sticks and your D-pads, which they both feel pretty solid, by the way. And up top you have your shoulder buttons, and then on the back of the controller has a nice black finish, feels kind of smooth. Okay, now let's start with the actual setup. So we'll start with the controllers first. So the first thing you want to do is, each handle of the controller has a silver piece on top. This piece pops right off, and each handle gets one AA battery. Once you put those in, put the silver pieces, caps right back on. And we are all set to go with the controller. Now on to the console. So the first thing we're going to do is plug the HDMI cable into the back of the console, and then we are going to plug the power adapter into the back of the console. Next up, the other end of the HDMI cable goes into the back of the TV, or the side of the TV in my case. And then we plug the power adapter into the wall. And then we turn to the correct channel. In my case, it's going to be HDMI 3. And then press the power button on the console. You'll get a little light on the top and the bottom. Just a nice little touch they add to it. It's not very bright, but it looks better at night. And then watch for it, watch for it, watch for it. Ouya. Now, before we go any farther, let's talk about the actual specs of the system. So, you have a Tegra 3 quad-core processor, 1 GB of LPDDR2 RAM, 8 GB of internal storage. It supports up to 1080p video playback, Wi-Fi 802.11, and Bluetooth 4.0. Okay, back to the setup. Now the first thing it asks us to do is to pair the Bluetooth controller to the console. To do that, you hold down the pair button until the 2 middle LED lights flash on the controller, then let go. And you're basically going to wait for one solid LED to flash. Once you get one solid LED, that means the controller is ready to go. Next thing you're going to do is choose the network so you can connect to the internet. It's going to check for updates. Set up an account, register the device, and set up payment information just in case you want to buy a game. All games are free to try. Now right here is your main menu. You can play games, you can discover new games and apps or browse the internet. You can make games, that's more for developers, and you can also manage your system, go into the actual settings of the system. So here's a look at some of the apps that are currently available on the system. Now here's a quick look at the current web browser that Ouya has installed on their system. And I must say, it is absolutely terrible. It's basically unusable. It's in desperate need of an update. I couldn't find many websites at all that worked well with this particular browser. I mean, this thing isn't really for browsing the web, but it is on here, so I figured I'd try to use it. And I just wanted to get that out the way first, because that really is the only negative thing I had to say about this system. So I just want to get that out the way. As of right now, the month of October, it does not work well. It's pretty bad. Now let's go on to the games. Now here's a look at Ouya's impressive library of games, and I must say, as of right now, I'm really impressed. As of right now, they have 500 games to choose from, and it's currently growing, and it's organized very well. And I was in here all day long just downloading, because again, all the games are free to try. Now, one thing I was worried about is that I figured this little Ouya system would have some very flat-looking, boring Nintendo, Super Nintendo style-looking games, but I was wrong. Now, they do have some flat-looking games, but they also have some very impressive looking games. And that's not the point. We've known for a while now that very flat looking playing games can be very fun. I mean, our mobile devices for the past few years now have been running them, and Ouya brings it to the big screen, which is pretty nice. Here's a look at some of the games that I played, and I thought every single one of these games were pretty fun. They were very unique in their own way. They look strange, but they were fun. I enjoyed playing them. And this right here was the strangest game I've ever played. I mean, I think you know what it looks like. It was very strange, but kind of addictive. So overall, I like the system a lot, and I do think it's worth the $100 that it costs in the store. And keep in mind, for an extra controller, it's going to cost you an extra $50. And I don't think the controller itself is worth $50, but that's what they're charging for it. And speaking of the controller, that was the second issue I had with this console. Sometimes it would take up to 8 minutes for it to connect to the console when I'm trying to pair the two. And it was never consistent. There was times when I would connect the controller in 3 minutes, and there was times when I would connect it in 8 minutes. And I have no clue what was up with that. I don't know if that was just this console, if there was something wrong with it, if it was defective. But that was a huge problem because I'm just sitting there waiting. And well, here's what it looks like. And yeah, sometimes it'll do that for literally 8 minutes straight, and then it'll finally connect right before I get ready to say forget it. There you go. See, now it's connecting. Connected. But aside from that, I had a lot of fun with this system, and I can't wait to see what games they come out with within the next few months. So that's been a review and setup of the Ouya gaming system. Take care. I'll see you guys in our next video, and thanks for watching.